Hey everyone, welcome back to the Weekly Awakening Podcast. This is your host, Cosmic Colleen, back with another weekly astrology update. We are waking up this morning, Wednesday, October 2nd, and it is the big eclipse today. I know I said I'd get it out yesterday, but I lied. I couldn't. I'm sorry. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about the big Libra eclipse. After that, there's not too much big things happening. Friday, October 4th, Venus is in Scorpio, trine Saturn at retrograde in Pisces. And then on Sunday, October 6th, Mercury is in Libra, square Mars in Cancer. This is a big week for my cardinal placements. That is my Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, and Libra placements. This is your week. The astrology is going to be the biggest and the most felt for you guys. Which is nice because I know us mutable signs are like, okay, we could take a break. It's been a crazy 6 weeks. It's time for us to take a little bit of a break. And this is going to be a break for us. Now, it doesn't mean, like I said, that you're not going to be feeling the general energy around you. But the more direct things, the bigger things are going to be happening with those cardinal placements, especially my Libra placements. So remind everyone, go back to last week's episode just to I talk a little bit more of the energy leading up to the eclipse as well as Libra energy so you can kind of get an idea of the Libra energy. Now, I want to remind everyone the best way to support this podcast is to rate, review, subscribe, send to a friend, get that out there. I'm fully self-supporting. I put this information out there week to week with nothing in return except for the love, and I love doing that. So please spread the message. Thank you guys. Have been doing that and helping me grow single-handedly for years because this is episode 243. Damn, how'd I get there? Especially most people quit, but there's something that I just love giving it, and I will not quit. Before I get into this, I want to share something with you guys about, which is like a kind of a weird spiritual thing. Half the people in my life are like, okay, whatever, Colleen. But I'm like, if you listen to this podcast, you would be like, oh, wow, Colleen, crazy. The universe is speaking to you. So Saturday night, I just had a one-on-one with my older son. We trade off, Matt and I, like once or twice a month with our kids where he takes one and I take one and we have our one-on-one time with them. And we had to leave real quick. We did a bunch of stuff and we forgot to do something at night. So we left for about 15 minutes to go do it and then came back. On our way back, the number 777 showed up again, and it's been everywhere for the last 2 weeks to me. Now, let me preface this. I am not a huge, I'm a huge numerology person, but it's a very, very, very vast study, just like astrology. It is not simple. It is not, some people call them angel numbers, but it's numerology. It's not this simple, this is what it means. Yes, there's a basic to that, just like there's a basic to the description of all the sun signs, but it is very, very vast. I know a little bit. I don't. I've put all of my energy into studying astrology. Maybe one day I will take in and study numerology just as deep, but it's just as deep and powerful. So, that being said, 777 has been sort of haunting me. And I think at first 777 is known. We look at that number as lucky. Things happening. You go to the casino, you win big. However, according to a lot of the people on there, not these angel number people, not necessarily the truest numerology people, they believe it's sort of like having patience, slow and steady, the luck is coming, things along those lines. So nevertheless, I've been seeing 777 all the time for actually probably 2 months now. And as I'm on the way back, I tell Abram, we're near our house, and I see 2 more license plates with 777. And I explain it to him, and he's like, wow, Mom, look at your dashboard. It's 777. Or something on the screen was 777. I was like, wow, that's crazy. We get back home. There are, right outside my door, all these, those little leopard print slugs. I don't know the official name. All these leopard print slugs. And I said, oh my God, Abram, look at all these. At first I thought in 10 minutes someone came and shit in front of my door. I honestly did. I'm like, oh my God, what came and shit in front of my door? And then I was like, oh, it's those leopard print slugs. And Abram goes down. He said, Mom, there's 7 of them. There were 7 slugs. Okay, whoa, I just gave myself chills. So the universe, my angels, my ancestors, my guides, they are there. And what I love about modern day spirituality and the internet is that you can find a spiritual animal with anything. So of course there is many spiritual teachings about slugs and what you can expect, right? Slow and steady wins the race. Having perseverance, having determination, and continuing to ride things out, and the hard work will eventually pay off. Now, that's what I do. I'm a grinder. I'm a hard worker. I really am. And I can stay in something even if I'm not yet getting the benefits, because I live moment to moment and I love life moment to moment. So that actually allows me to focus in on today without stressing too much, but still showing up for the end result, if that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I hear that message. I hear it. All right, let's jump into the big Libra eclipse now that we've had my numerology talk. But I mean, that's crazy, right? That was all within, when we left 10 minutes, 15 minutes prior, there were no slugs. On our way back in that whole conversation, and then there were when Abram said, Mom, there's 7 of them, I was like, oh shit, because that conversation with the 777 happened 2 minutes before arriving to my house. So, okay, the Libra eclipse, like I said, my cardinal signs, this is the ending eclipse. Woo! The Aries, the Libra, you guys are now pretty much officially done, especially my Libras. There will be one more eclipse in the springtime in Aries, but that is another solar eclipse. So we're ending this season with a solar eclipse for Libra, a solar eclipse for Aries in the springtime. So I am loving this, first of all, for my cardinal placements. Like I said, you guys, Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, Libra, you guys are going to be feeling this the absolute biggest. You are going to be feeling this the absolute biggest. Okay, that is number one. So I am excited about that. But this is now, we are accumulating. We are coming to the end. We are closing the door, right? When we had the Pisces eclipse a couple weeks ago, we just peeked through the door to see what the next, 18 months to 2 years is going to be like. Now we're at my Libra placements, we're at the end of that. We closed the door to that eclipse. So now we are ending, which is a whole new idea of feeling settled, feeling content, feeling happy, feeling harmony of where you are in life. At first it was dicey. At first it didn't quite make sense and it was dicey, but now you know where you're going. You know where you're going, you know what you're doing, you know what life is about right now. So that is really the amazing thing. So here you are, you have made it to the end of this eclipse series. And then Libras, you're not going to be feeling it until you're in eclipse opposition in about 8.5 years. So you're good, right? That's what happens. These eclipses, they go backwards, right? They move backwards in the zodiac, and they make an entire 12-house zodiac completion every 18.6 years. So you guys are out of the clear for a little bit, my Libra placements. So now closing the door. I know a lot of Libra placements who are finally in a nice harmony. I know a Libra placement who had some cancer, actually, that got diagnosed at the start of the season, who is now in total remission, found out actually with the last Libra eclipse, total everything is clear and good. I know a Libra placement who got divorced and now moved back in with someone else, and that's in harmony. So that is kind of what we're saying. The cycle played out, right? The story played out between eclipse season, but now it's closing the door and you're more settled in life. So here's going to be, especially for my Libra placements, you guys will be feeling this the ultimate big, and then the rest of my cardinal placements. And then we all will be feeling the energy a little bit, and I'll get into what we might be feeling, those of us without Libra placements. So again, my Libra placements, feeling deeply satisfied with where you are emotionally in life, where you are, your emotions are regulated finally, and you feel comfort and content. Now, like I said, Libras aren't always necessarily, they can be dramatic, but they're not necessarily always overly emotional. They like to hold that in, right? Like we said, the peacekeeper. So they like to sometimes pretend, but that doesn't mean inside that they aren't swirling around with discontentment of emotions. So, now you're feeling emotionally regulated, comfortable, content. Whatever life switch-ups that have happened over this eclipse series, you are right now where you were supposed to be. I know that's like a cliche saying, but it is true. You are right where you were supposed to be right now in life. Exactly. I know there's destiny and I know there's free will, but you are right there where you are meant to be. So don't ever Don't lose that idea, especially this weekend. If you feel a little upset about it with the other transits, we'll talk about it. You're right where you are. And again, you're comfortable in that energy. Harmony, completion, understanding. These are all the words that are coming with this transit. Feeling stronger in your attachments, happy in your attachments, closure in your attachments, safe in your attachments. During this eclipse season, there was, like I said, a change up and a shift in happiness. Especially Venus during this eclipse season went through retrograde and hit Uranus retrograde in Leo, and there was a lot of like, what is happy? What's true happiness to us, and what is ego happiness to us? We saw a lot of that in this eclipse series. So now you are actually like, okay, I feel comfortable in my happiness. I know what truly makes me happy. I know what I desire, and I know how to seek those things out. And I know what the ego wants. And that's okay to also want things that the ego wants as well. But it's a nice balance between there, right? Because the ego does cause suffering. So when we don't get this material thing, right, are we suffering within our happiness? So it was a change in pleasure. It was a change in joy. It was a change in happiness. This also this eclipse season got you out of your comfort zone of happiness, and you had to kind of maybe find new ways, which is amazing because Libra likes the same old ways. It wants to know the familiar comfort. It wants to know the familiar ideas. So you actually maybe had to get out of your comfort zone and now finding new ways of comfort. See, these are all good things. I'm happy with this new moon solar eclipse in that. So again, you're getting comfortable. Also with this eclipse today, Mercury will be conjunct this new moon. So harmony with communication, finally, or just a continued harmony. Saying the right words, blooming connections. Now, this could be general for all of us now that we're talking about not just my Libra placements bigger, but the rest of us can be feeling this. Again, like I said, harmony with conversations, saying the right words, blooming connections, pleased with a decision and not overthinking the decision, doing something that mentally makes you happy, new happiness, or maybe just happy again with something. And finally, feeling satisfied. Again, like I said in last week's episode, Libras feeling satisfied doesn't necessarily come easy because they have this perfectionism, because they see the tiny details. Now, they'll pretend that they're satisfied for the sake of peace, but deep down, satisfaction isn't always that easy to come by, even if they don't tell you it. So finally, feeling satisfied. This is an eclipse that should be celebrated, okay? This is how we all should be celebrating this eclipse, with deeper, true connection. Since COVID, since the evolution of social media, overbooked schedules, one thing I can tell in people around me, and especially my clients, is we don't have true ways of connecting anymore. People have become overwhelmed by true connection and the commitment to true connection. I think COVID kept us separated, right? And then that evolved a ton of social anxiety. And I can't tell you, even still, I just had 2 clients tell me this past weekend, because I bring this up. I feel like this is like a huge issue that is in the world right now. And I'm not going to make this whole episode about it, but it is a huge issue. And I think it's, why everyone's so fucking miserable. 2 of my clients this weekend alone, and I have it all the time, they were like, yeah, since COVID, we still feel anxious leaving the house, that we don't even want to, even though we do. So even though they know they need the connection, even though they know that they want to do it, they feel very overwhelmed about doing it still. Here we are 4 years post-COVID, because that's how deep that went, right? When everyone stays in and you're told 24/7 about something to fear, that takes a while for some people who really listened to break out of that. And so that's number one. People don't kind of lost the desire, lost the ability, and lost the drive to go out and purposely keep up with connections, as well as social media, right? We have this false idea of connection on social media. So then we're too tired to go seek it out in real life. We also are overwhelmed by our phones with work, through work email, through text, those things. And again, we then don't go seek it out. And that is actually having a really hard time on people. And I don't think people are quite seeing it yet. I really do not see that, Keep it separated. We watch our friends on social media, but then often we create, because we don't even realize we're allowing them to program. We don't realize what we're feeling when we're watching social media. I've watched people start watching their friends on social media, and that ended up creating unwanted resentment instead of actually going and creating true connection with that friend. So do you get what I'm saying? It's a whole slew of up in our minds like thing that's stopping us from connecting deeply. So last week I said, give peace a chance. I hope everyone did. I was pretty good with giving peace a chance myself and doing the right thing. So this week, that's seek out connection, right? If you're a parent, ask that random mom, who's at the basketball game, hey, do you want to hang out this weekend? Like maybe there's a mom you're vibing with. Do you want to hang out? Talk to your cashier. Ask them about themselves when you're sitting there and listen. And don't have them talk about you. You talk about them. Ask them about themselves. Choose to call a friend instead of just blowing off a text message. Seek out connection. It's like people forget how to just hang out, how to just have one-on-one. I realize that our kids, it's detrimental because all of our kids are overscheduled 24/7, that they're not having real connections either. So, and yes, it is a pain in the ass. On a Monday last week or Tuesday, I had my friends' kids, because I'm like, okay, well, if they're not getting invited, I guess I'll be the one to invite the kids over because I can handle a lot of craziness. And so I invited them over, and yes, it is a pain in the ass to be dealing with a bunch of boys after all day of working and this, that, and the other. However, our kids need it. They're suffering, or we're creating this whole world of lack of connection. So find some new friendships, or at least cherish and work on the old ones, and just know online that is not true connection, right? I love when you guys connect with my TikTok and whatever, all that stuff, but it's not true. This, to me, I like when you guys listen. I'd rather everyone listen to my podcast better than like myself on social media. Since I went on that social media block last year, I've just freed myself of so much on there. I just don't even give a shit. But we need that, and that is we're suffering. We know for the people that live the longest, that's one of the number one thing was connection with others. So go out and seek it. Don't wait for it to seek you, because people aren't out there seeking it. You need to go seek it out. All right? So that's how I want everyone to celebrate this new moon, is seek out new connections, or seek out old connections and harness them, grow them, love them, because we need it. Even though our brain is tired, our brain is only tired from all these other false connections or all these other false fears in our head. Okay. Happy new moon. Happy eclipse. Libras, I'm happy. Goodbye. You guys are out of it for a little bit. Friday, October 4th, Venus in Scorpio, trine Saturn in Pisces. So my water signs will be feeling this the most. Getting serious with a relationship connection. Previously placed boundaries have gotten results that you can now see. See the hard work and stagnant or staggering relationships, with lovers, friends, sisters, aunts, uncles, fathers. You finally have overcome that hump, and you now feel more comfortable and in harmony with those relationships. Some groundedness in relationships, or finding that, within a crazy water swirl that Saturn's trying to bring a little grounded energy. Seriousness, energy, deep and stoic, getting real about a fantasy. Now Sunday, Mercury in Libra square Mars in Cancer again. So this is where I said, Libras, you might feel a little sad about it this weekend. My cardinal signs are getting hit again. Having to confront something you've been avoiding that you no longer can confront. So, like we said, you guys do not like confrontation, but you will be forced to confront something, and it will be good. In the end, it will be good, because you got to learn to confront a little things here and there, because if you don't, that's a whole other problem. You'll build resentment. So confronting something that you can no longer avoid, and it's almost like forced into confrontation. You might be forced into it. Feeling overwhelmed with emotions, probably from all these new blossoming things from this week. A slow drive to do anything, so just rest, calm. Hopefully it's nice fall vibes on Sunday. And missing old comforts. Again, you might be those things that no longer are your prime happiness. You may find yourself having a little bit of missing it on Sunday, which is okay. That's part of the process of letting something go, especially something that was a dopamine trigger or a dopamine high. Now, guys, I am leaving on Monday. I'm going to St. Lucia, and I won't be back until the following Monday, so you guys will miss me for 1 week, 1.5 weeks, and so I hope within that you guys cultivate all those wonderful things with within yourself and within others, and know that relationships and true connection is the most important thing that we can do and we need. And any connection, most connections online are not real. All right? I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful week, a beautiful new beginning. I hope you guys find wonderful connection, and I love you all, and enjoy yourself.